This is the Deathadder V3 Pro. It's a premium right-handed ergo mouse that has completely changed gaming as we know it, as normally ergo mice are large, heavy, and have mid-range specs and aren't used at top level of competitive play. But this guy flips that all on its head by being an ultralight 63-gram medium to large right-handed ergo mouse with the best tech on the market, making me truly believe we will see pros using it regularly. I've been waiting a long time for a premium ultralight ergo mouse, and it's even better than I imagined. In today's review, we'll be going over everything about it, the pros, the cons, and of course, the drama surrounding it. Let's get nerdy. Everybody loves drama, whether they like to admit it or not. So let's just get it over with. Starting off with the price. It's $149.99, which I get is a lot of money. With there being a ton of competition at other price points, it also causes a lot of confusion. But what most people don't understand is this mouse is a dramatic step ahead in multiple areas, which justifies that cost. These points also relate to the Razer Viper V2 Pro, which has the same specs. I actually went on a terribly long rant that ended up turning into a dedicated video that you'll be able to eventually find in the description down below once I finish making it. Pretty much the summation of that video is this. First, I hear people say sensors these days all feel the same, and while they aren't necessarily wrong, they aren't fully right either, as it is a half-truth, as most sensors do feel the same because they are practically the same. This includes the Logitech Hero sensor, PAW3370, the PAW3389, PMW3390, SteelSeries TrueMove Air, Pixar3335, and Rocot's Ally, to name a few, which account for what? 95 to 99% of the mice out there, which all have 16 to 25K DPI, 400 to 450 IPS, and 40 to 50 G acceleration, and don't have a whole lot of other bells and whistles attached to them. Those sensors are also not brand new and have been thoroughly tested and vetted, making them a lot cheaper to produce and put in mice, where the Focus Pro is only available in this mouse and the Viper V2 Pro currently, which raises costs. It also is the best sensor on the market by some margin. It sports 30,000 DPI, 650 IPS, 70 G acceleration with 99.8% resolution accuracy compared to 98 to 99.4% accuracy with the others, along with utilizing asymmetric cutoff, smart tracking, and motion sync. For more info on all of that nerdy stuff, check the description. This makes it so incredibly precise and smooth, it actually blows my mind, as the granular control you have is truly next level, and the first time I tested it out, I shattered all of my records in aim labs before I was even warmed up. Second, Razer's hyperspeed wireless is superior, as it has two 1000 Hz signals attached to a single dongle, allowing it to switch when needed to the one that gives you the best performance. By the way, this is brand new to the Viper V2 Pro and the Deathadder V3. I'm not going to bore you with the specifics, so again, check the description for a longer rundown of any of this tech. This allows you to pair a keyboard and a mouse to a single dongle, and that is before we get into their newly released, sold separately, true 4000 Hz wireless dongle, which raises the bar even more, as even wired mice are still stuck at 1000 Hz, making this wireless mouse 4 times faster than nearly all of the competition. Third, it comes with optical switches making clicks as fast and consistent as they can get. Fourth, the weight and build quality of this mouse is absolutely insane. It is perfectly balanced, which very few mice are, meaning it isn't front or back heavy, which makes a huge difference in game with your performance. It also has 0 holes, which most other ultralight mice are unable to get away with. Case in point, the Starlight 12 has holes all over it. Interiorly, they also use nicer cabling and parts to ensure everything stays together and operates the best it can, where most other brands use what I call generic brand electronics over name brand electronics, which sometimes doesn't make a difference, but sometimes it does. But it does change the cost a lot. All of this helps justify the cost, as you can't find this level of performance on any other mouse on the market, except for this guy, and when you are buying the best of the best, there is usually a price premium attached, as is the case with literally everything. If you're enjoying this review so far, make sure to give it a like, if not a dislike, and a subscribe to see more like this. So should you upgrade? The next point of drama is they've completely changed the legendary shape of the Deathadder, along with taking away some features while adding others. Personally, I think the updated Deathadder V3 Pro is leagues better than the Deathadder V2 Pro, but I do want to know your opinion. Do you think it is an upgrade or a downgrade? Let me know in the comment section down below so we can discuss. What they've removed is the rubber side buttons, Bluetooth, which I am completely bummed about, charging dock compatibility, a place to store the dongle, 2 top buttons, and RGB, as Razer decided the best way to combat the inability to save lighting directly on board is by removing it altogether, which I admit is a bold strategy. What you gain is newly improved coding, improved PTFE, improved wireless and sensor, improved scroll wheel encoder, improved battery life. It is now perfectly balanced, improved clicks by going from a single shell design to a dedicated dual cutout, which makes a huge difference, and gone is the proprietary USB micro charging slot for a USB-C one instead. But the biggest difference is the massive weight loss from 88 grams to 63. As for the refinement of the shape, the Deathadder V3 Pro is a bit longer, has a bit higher mid hump that tapers off faster on the back, doesn't flare as much on the front, doesn't have as aggressive grooves on the sides, and most importantly, isn't as wide, which I think is the biggest difference / improvement. As the previous Deathadder always felt very wide to me, which got in the way of my aim with my 19 by 11 centimeter hands. The side buttons also sit a bit higher and are less curved. The finger grooves for the primary clicks aren't as deep, and the scroll wheel sits a bit higher. It is also a bit softer to scroll with. This translates to me having a lot more comfort when using, as it nestles nicely in my palm, but also allows me to manipulate it with the tips of my fingers a lot more, giving me more granular control, which just isn't as easy to do with the Viper V2 Pro due to how wide and thick it is. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's actually focus in on the actual mouse. These are the best clicks I felt on any Razer mouse, and I dare say the best clicks I felt on any mouse, period. As mouse clicks primarily come from the shell over the switch itself. They are using Razer's Gen 3 optical switches, which are mostly better bend Gen 2 switches. Honestly, I don't notice a huge difference between the older ones, except for being more consistent from unit to unit, or at least is the case in my 2. They do have mild pre/post travel with strong spring back force, leading to a very satisfying, crisp click, but they are very loud, which is unfortunate. Here's a quick sound test. Psychologically, this can make you believe it is a crisper click than it actually is, which is just a fun fact. Who knew? They also have very minimal side play. They absolutely nailed them. The side buttons are also ideal. They line up with your thumb well, making it easy to reach, and they feel wonderful. They have mild pre/post travel, strong spring back force, semi-quiet with a satisfying sound, and are incredibly consistent. I love them. The scroll wheel, as mentioned, sits a bit higher than the previous variant, which changes the feel quite a bit. It seems to me like it doesn't scroll as much, but I think that's because it sits higher, making it harder for me to scroll as far and as quickly. They report they have changed the encoder to be even more accurate. I thought the previous version was excellent, so I don't notice a performance difference personally. You continue to have the same ribbed design for grip. Force it requires to scroll has dramatically changed. It is now very light compared to stiff, with slightly less dedicated steps, but you can still very much feel them. It also sounds the same whether you're going up or down, and isn't very loud with aggressive scrolling, which is very much improved from previous Razer mice. Here's a quick sound test. Middle mouse click is nearly the same, requiring moderate pressure with short pre/post travel, strong spring back force, and satisfying click that is easily spammable, where the previous version required a bit more pressure to get clicked, but otherwise feels the same. As for the coding, they absolutely nailed the coding, but this will be hit and miss with most people, as I think this is very subjective. It is mildly bumpy to add grip like PBT. I found that if my hands are super dry, the mouse is very slick, but if my hands are a bit moist, it sticks really well. And if they are damp, it still sticks, but less so than when moist, while still being better than when fully dry. Definitely the best coding I've seen from Razer yet. I prefer it over the Logitech G Pro X. I've been wanting a lightweight ergo mouse for a long time with top specs and it has finally arrived. And my aim has never been better. Seriously, I broke every single record I had on Aim Labs the first time I was testing it out, so it takes almost no time to acclimate to. I also think Razer has struggled a lot with their shapes in the past, and this is by far the best shape, where this is not the best shape they have ever had. It is comparable to the G Pro X, and I think it will be greatly well received, perhaps being one of the best ever. Personally, I like it better than my G Pro X as it fits in my hand perfectly. Add that to only being 63 grams, perfectly balanced and having top tier specs, and you've got what I'm calling the best mouse on the market. Seriously, the balancing is unreal, making it feel even lighter than it actually is. To the point, I think it feels almost as light as a Starlight 12, which is close to 45 grams. Moving on to the battery life, they report 90 hours of constant motion. When I first got this, it was at 60%, and I've used it a ton over the last week or two and charged it for the first time. So, from my very scientific testing, it seems accurate, and I rate it as excellent. It did take about 3 hours to charge, which is slow, and I didn't like that, but it now uses USB-C, which is a big win, and the cable it comes with is high quality, braided, but kind of stiff. While it isn't the best paracord I've tried, it does work well on the rare occasion that I actually need to plug it in to charge the device. The white coloring of that cord is also absolutely gorgeous. Last, you can upgrade to Razer's true 4000 Hz polling dongle for $29.99. For a short period, with the code 4000 Hz, you can get it for 50% off, which just further elevates the wireless to a new level we have never seen before and makes it 4 times faster than most other gaming mice on the market, even wired ones. However, this dramatically decreases battery performance. I just got mine in after a month, so I haven't actually been able to test it, which is why it's still in its box that got absolutely destroyed during shipping. But I've had zero issues with their normal wireless, and it feels more responsive than any of the competition. As for the on-on switch, it is the same unique on-off switch that the Viper V2 Pro uses, where you hold it down for 3 seconds to turn it on and off. There's a single LED on the front of the mouse to notify you that it is on. By clicking the power button, you can cycle through the 5 DPI settings, and the LED on the front of the device will change colors, so you know which one you're using and which one you're on. This can be adjusted in Razer Synapse 3. As for the PTFE feet, I think the Viper V2 Pro and the Deathadder V3 Pro come with the best stock PTFE feet I've ever felt. They are thick, rounded, and incredibly smooth. I notice zero drag on my glorious XXXL pad because I'm 100% compensating for something. Moving on to the conclusion, to me, the new Deathadder V3 Pro is a complete game changer as they just knocked it out of the park with every single aspect of this mouse. I also think we will see an increase in the amount of people using ergo mice during competitive play, as before that just really wasn't viable. But now it is. I think it's completely worth the price, as this is as good as it gets. I'm in love, and we're getting married next month. Be there or be square. If you made it to this part of the review, comment wedding bells in the comment section down below. Associate links are down in the description below. Like if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, share with those that you think would enjoy it, and subscribe for more content like this. Otherwise, I will see you and your beautiful face on the next one. God bless and peace out.